Hello, and welcome back to the Unity of Austin under Keats. Today we are going to perform some autopsies. Unfortunately, despite their longevity, sometimes super mutants still end up dying. The majority of these casualties come from sustained combat with raider scum on the frontiers of her Unity, and the corpses are then transported back to Austin for proper honors. If we give them to our scientists for a bit before they cremate their cremations, we can perform in-depth surgeries to figure out how exactly it affects every aspect of our individual's reproductive organs. So I noticed I haven't actually read a lot of these ones. A T's grave was grim sight for Keats to behold, so much so that he ordered the place filled in and a simple monument erected over it. The respect he's shown for Atti's final resting place has been seen as a respectful sign of reverence by mutants and a sign of gentle civility by humans. Between them, neither group knows the entire truth about what happened to Attis, but Keats knows it's probably for the best that no record of this exact cause of death was left for the world at large. Okay, we performed the autopsies. Good. You're still chillin'. You two are just still chillin' for now. Root of the issue. After an extensive investigation, it seems we have discovered exactly where the sources of super mutant sterility lie. Okay, I guess we'll find out about that soon enough. Okay, I really don't care about all that. Our unique economy. As a ruined city populated by super mutants, Austin has always had a bit of trouble gaining momentum when it comes to long-term construction projects. However, Keats hopes that, given a mayoral term to dedicate to the economy, he can rally everyone in just the right way that Austin bounces back from the brink. It currently results at improving Austin since Atti's army first arrived in Texas have seen moderate success, and many have hoped that the near future will see the former metropolis restored to its pre-war position as sprawling hub of life and culture. We got stonks. We aren't quite sure what index fund is, or if they even exist, against advice from our esteemed advisor Jeremy. This investment has done great in growing the wealth of our nation. Yeah, as we had 5,000 before that. Woo. We are investing in new power. With all the construction we're going to do to overhaul Austin into the beautiful city it deserves to be, we're going to need more power. An old power plant just outside the city center has provided us with the bulk of our electricity since Scarlet helped us clear it of the mutant plants infesting it back in 53. But the strain is becoming too much. It'll take a few years, but we simply need another plant. The only difference? This new one will be made by and for mutants, so it'll be much easier for us to keep tabs on it compared to the pre-war junk pile next door. And we have the root of the issue. As Keats sat back down at his desk, he noticed a single sheet of paper that hadn't been there when he left the previous night. According to the headline, it was a report on the progress of the sterility issue. Keats scanned the names, dates, finances, until he got to the meat of the contents. According to our research, the issue of super mutant sterility remains threefold in nature. Firstly, though most male subjects retain appropriate genitalia, such genitalia remains inoperable under any natural conditions, and all attempts to create the effect of an erection have failed. Secondly, even if male genitalia were to function, sperm generation remains non-existent, and has no natural path to the extended exit. Thirdly, even if male genitalia were completely functional, we have observed a wide variety of deformities with a female uterus. Despite this, the ovaries appear to be commonly functional, but all attempts at impregnation via human male sperm samples resulted in failure, likely due to DNA incompatibility. It would seem that to some extent the FEV is altering the structure of the newly produced eggs shortly after their creation and exposure to the FEV. Though it could be possible to remove the undamaged eggs prior to their own mutation, if a tough subject were to be kept under continual observation with robotic assistance of these issues, the second remains critical and unlikely to be easily solved for the foreseeable future. But our scientists have some theories for alternative solutions to solve the first and third issues. We'll keep you informed as to our progress, assuming funding continues at its current pace. Keats sat down the paper and leaned back. Imagine if they succeeded. After a moment of blissful silence, he returned to his work and let a smile return to his face. Very good. Ongoing sterility research. just in case it changes this when I get the new effect. I don't know if it will, but just in case. Currently, we have the issue of super mutant sterility is the single most significant drawback to becoming a mutant. Most humans that would otherwise have been willing to consider a conversion don't do so because they know reproduction would be off the table. If there's even a chance of being able to throw our entire economy and scientific prowess at this problem and actually crack it, we'd say it's worth a shot. Did this change? No. Alright, it doesn't look like those change in this version compared to others. DNA splicing. DNA splicing was one of the most advanced pre-war scientists, but we were luckily able to find enough equipment to put together a lab capable of researching the issue. After weeks of hard work, our scientists were able to produce new strands of DNA with the aim of slowly regenerating the physical uterus structures of female supermutant volunteers. Though future testing is necessary, we have hopes that the third fundamental issue facing us has been solved and that pregnancies are now theoretically possible. Woo! Let's do it! Are you ever gonna, continue down your focus tree to, declare some wars? I don't want you to in, reality, but in function to the mod, I literally need you to, for me to be able to do my main focus tree. I don't know exactly how long it's supposed to take for me to be able to do that. This might be normal, it might not be, I don't know. But I would, like to be able to use my focus tree. Alright. Medical implants. Despite being a bit of a gruesome series of experiments, various rods and stabilizers were inserted into both male and female volunteer supermutants. While it obviously didn't work at solving any of our problems, and the scientist responsible for the experiment has been relocated to other projects, the lessons about supermutant biology gained from the experiments have been imported to other field medics to learning to repair broken bodies. Alright, that's still useful. How you guys doing? You're just helping your masters out. There's Little Lost Hill. Poor rapids, not rivers, are just getting obliterated. Gene therapy. Oh, first, yeah, I suppose more resources could be useful. But first I'd like to do smoke signals. Gene therapy. Studies into various forms of gene therapy have resulted in generally increased understanding of the human bodies and its faults and potential strengths. The end of the studies didn't achieve the successes we were looking for in enabling male sperm production, but we have been able to identify and promote a few genes in our Fev vats to increase the overall stamina of our forces at large. I mean, hey, that's pretty nice. I think what I want first is just this. Let's see. Where were you? Yeah, I guess that's better to start with. Yeah. At least while I'm still doing civilian stuff. Man, okay, we got all these guys ready. Yeah, let's promote a new guy. Promote him. And throw him on. And said throw them on. There we go. And I'll do 19 specifically so that the one guy can that'll just put us at a full army, and then I can just train 20 more. Alright. Extensive experimentation. After a series of experiments regarding the previously researched DNA spicing technology, we have confirmed that full functionality of the female supermutant uterus has been achieved. All we have to do at this point is figure out how to transfer the equivalents of male sperm into willing subjects, and the problem will be at least partially solved. I mean, it might be the closest we can get, so... Oh well, I suppose. I guess it's just kind of a take what you get situation there. I think I am going to go ahead and start doing this. Oh wait, no. I'm using, my good old melee weapons. I'm going to go ahead and start working on these. I'm going to just do normal. I'd rather save my military experience for for just pushing forward with some other things first. The best possible solution. Despite nearly a century of super mutant living with the knowledge that their stories ended with their lives, it appears new science may have found a way to challenge that assumption. Though apparently it's going to be the awkward solution, but hey, a solution nonetheless. Sometimes you just gotta go with what you can have. The Eastern Umbra and the Umbra, yeah. That's just always happens. They become their little puppet, and then, the old man, Grandpa Fig Leaf, just decides, no, we will not fall under their control. Rawr! And then a whole bunch of people are like, oh, Gramps, come on. We all want to be under their control. Why don't you? We love being not our own independent nation. Come on. And, why not be, under a different nation, right, guys? Right? That's what all our enemies should be thinking. The awkward solution. Only a few days earlier, Keats has received a report from the scientists on the sterility project informing him that they had found a solution to the first problem of the threefold issue by creating a drug capable of temporarily creating erection in male mutants. While they wouldn't serve much purpose on its own besides pleasure, it was always good to hear of breakthroughs. Keats was 4 hours in on day-long session of signing various documents when a small handful of white-coated super mutants and humans burst through his door. Sir, we think we've done it, they shouted. Done what? Keats asked. He set down his pen, took note of the complete lack of composure on behalf of the usual respectful scientists. The dark-skinned human spoke first. Sir, do you remember that one volunteer, Greta? How could he forget? She had been pressuring Keats for decades to promote sterility research, and it was for her alone that Keats finally gave in and approved the extensive project. Well, sir, we think we got her pregnant. Keats lost all composure. Excellent news, gentlemen. What's your evidence? Well, sir, it's been a few weeks since we ran preliminary tests on her with a new combination of artificial sperm. We took some DNA from a male volunteer's skin cells and spliced them into human sperm cells without issue. During the 2 days checkup, well, everything we've been able to find suggests there's a second heartbeat in there. Keats felt his own heart begin to beat faster and smilingly widened to match. Very good. We've done it. Mutant sterility. Cured. I'll be honest, you don't want to see a baby super mutant cry. Mutants are just humans, but better in almost every way, right? Well, imagine a baby with a raspy voice and vocal cords that never tire. Nobody in all of Austin is paid more than the scientist manning the still experimental super mutant child daycare. Oh, God. What have we done? We need to go back. 776 budget. military. Disturbing reports are beginning to come out of the west. The Scarlet and her scouts are to believe that beast Shale has resurfaced again and is putting together an army to challenge us for control of Austin, a terrifying prospect on its own, but a few scattered rumors of Superman behemoths are also starting to make their way through the gossip chain. If even half that is true, we need more guns, now. When our men descended into the depths of the research facility scouted by gunrunners, most of them never returned. A member of the party reports being ambushed by sentry bots soon after setting foot in the inner laboratory. Thankfully, a few brave soldiers made it home. Okay, so we gained 40 army experience. Nice. So they didn't really find anything, but they definitely experienced some stuff. So they're coming back home. They're coming back home to Austin. They're coming back home to Austin. Yes, they're coming back home. They're coming back home. They're coming back home to Austin. True towards unity through strength. Keats is convincing people Crusher won't ruin this year's Hollow Eve story time is my current thing. I mean, I'm still making him happy by doing certain things. He shouldn't be any angrier than he was before when he didn't kill me, at least. So I should be fine. Oh, now the Tuxedo Brotherhood are up here, and here's the Alamo chapter. Yep. So the Texan Brotherhood is initiate chapter of the Alamo chapter. Oh. So I'm the Texan Economic Union. As in, literally, it's just me. I had them and their puppets, which aren't even their puppets anymore, by the way. And they've just joined under the Alamo chapter and also became intellectuals under them. So now I have no friends in this world. Got it. Thanks. Well, I guess I gotta move on from that. I still have my alliance name. I've become I'm the leader of the Texan Economic Union now. So, you know, woo. There is that, I suppose. I did it, guys. I became the leader of our faction. Isn't that great? I know. I'm so happy to be the leader of our faction. I guess I'm rooting for the Troll Warren in that war. I mean, there are fellow mutants, but you know they're way over there. So we were. Oh, they're also. Oh, I was remember. I thought they would be that tiny. I didn't realize they expanded already on their own. Makes sense. Alright. Our purple friends. The Nightkin are a deliberately created variant of super mutants that have biological love of being invisible. As such, most use stealth boys to grant access for even the most minor of reasons. However, due to ambient radiation, the minds of these Nightkin are warped over time, developing what we can only diagnose as symptoms similar to that of schizophrenia. Finding a long-term solution to this issue would greatly benefit our unity. Makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, hey, they're finally doing it. They're doing the war. They're doing the war things. I have a feeling I'm not going down this path. Well, suppose I could try to... Actually, you do have a big arm. I suppose I could try to help you. Alright, who... My best men? Come on. We got to try, at least. We have to at least try. It would be wrong of us not to try to help Scarlet. After all she's done to help us. It would just be wrong. Alright, let me get some stuff ready. Okay, what I need is not the normal stuff, because these are super mutant battalions. Yeah, super mutants. So I need things that buff super mutant. Yeah, strong back sounds good. Just a straight up breakthrough. Division organization. Yeah, that all sounds good. Let's grab up those things. I'm coming to help. Collecting stealth boys. If we're going to be researching the causes and effects of Nightkin's schizophrenia, we're going to need to find a handful of stealth boys to run tests on. Fortunately, some of the Nightkin in Austin are perpetually convinced they're invisible anyway, so we can just follow them back to their collections and nab a few when they're aren't looking. It's not stealing, it's collecting long overdue taxes for a good cause. Sure. We can look at it that way. Okay, now troops, Can you not go down there? Like, can you come up here to support me in my pushings? Actually, I could do a very risque play. If I could just surround their backsides completely and utterly, that would be awesome. I'll take mostly. No. Yeah, let's do that. And let's do that. Good. Alright, assembling lab equipment. Though we have many official rooms in various buildings throughout the city, we're going to need to commander a few for dedicated research purposely. It might be a bit costly, but we should have more room to work with once we find a good space. Ideally, we just need something close to Nightkin hideouts, but still with power enabled. Tristan the janitor has a place like that. We'll pay him off. Take it. Tristan the janitor has a dark place like that, huh? Okay, Tristan. They definitely built up some more troops, and they have the better troops, but, you know, Come on. There's no place to push through. Another Hallows Eve story time. Keats opened the door of his truck and waved. The crowd was much more massive than normal this year, probably as a result of last year's shenanigans, he thought. Grinning, he grabbed the small book from the inside car door, tucked it under his shoulder, and slammed the door shut. He walked up the short stairs leading to the stage, making sure to stare at the nearby rooftops as he walked. When he reached the microphone, he put on a hesitant expression and spoke with a whisper. "No assassinations this year?" He chuckled. And the audience laughed with him. No assassins, then. He stood up straight and let his usual broad smile sweep any other emotions aside. "Good evening, Austin!" The audience gave him a loud cheer. "In this city, we have a tradition borrowed from the old world. On October 31st, children would be rewarded with treats, learning... We still don't understand the tradition. Every year, the score is not known." He paused, sitting down, while he set a small pair of loosely fitted, mostly decorative reading glasses on the ridge of his nose. Deathclaw Caves, despite being a generic-sounding title, appealed the most to me this year. Let us begin. Keats began reading the story to the best of his ability. He had some trouble with the repeated use of slang dialogue by the main characters, but his stuttering on the matter entertained the crowd, and he laughed along. The story itself took the turn of a deep and serious horror, where the two main characters, brother, who grew to hate each other while fighting over the contents of their late father's vague will, were forced to briefly cooperate to escape. A handful of disgruntled mercenaries hired by both brothers at various points had dropped the pair into a cave commonly known to be filled with deathclaws, with the cohort led by the fiercest patriarch Keats had ever heard described, sitting atop his scarred, drooling carninium dressed in a crown of horns, rusty with the stain of human blood. The rising creature noticed Redmond cowering before the cave opening, and it let out a roar that echoed with the majesty of the angel's trumpet and the devil's damnation in one. Screaming, Redmond scrambled for a small hole in the cave's wall he could just barely make out, and as he reached the end of the tiny opening, the cave crunched and shuddered around him, with the impact of the patriarch's body upon his fragile shelter. "You too?" Redmond looked up to see his hated brother staring down at him in dismay. Keats continues this story to its conclusion, wrapping with both brothers narrowly escaping and immediately turning their guns on each other, slowly backing off until they could both flee. When the story had come to its end, the audience have a strong and grateful applause, and Keats thanked them back. After hanging around for an additional hour to shake hands and connect with some recognizable human artists in the crowd, he packed up and drove back home. At least this year had no issues. I mean, last one, the only issue was him saying, "I've thought about assassinating you, but I chose not to." But it is good to have not even a thought of assassination this year. But I think that's a good time to end this episode. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button. And as always, peace.